Discipline is a myth. Once you know this, you can achieve your goals no matter how big they are. Wake up at 4 a.m., take a cold shower, work for 10 hours straight. A lot of these things that we hear in the grind culture are nonsense, and not because hard work is bad, but because forcing yourself into discipline is an unsustainable lie. You think you need discipline to change, but no, you need to stop fighting yourself. Because the truth is, you will always act in alignment with who you believe you are. If success feels like forcing yourself, it means deep down you still see yourself as the kind of person who fails. That one hit. Think about this. When was the last time you had to force yourself to scroll on your phone, to binge watch TV show, to procrastinate? You didn't. Because those actions align with your identity, and that's why they feel effortless. Now compare that to doing something like going to the gym, working on your goals, waking up early. Why does that feel like resistance? And it's not because those actions are hard, but it's because they contradict who you subconsciously believe yourself to be. And this is where people get it wrong. They don't fail due to lack of discipline. They fail because their actions do not match their identity. Every action you take either strengthens or weakens the story you believe about yourself. If you constantly tell yourself, I'm lazy, I'm undisciplined, I hate hard work, your brain will seek proof to confirm it. Even when you do succeed, you'll sabotage yourself because deep down, success feels like an imposter suit, not something that belongs to you. This is why people who win the lottery often end up broke, and why people who have lost everything but believe they're wealthy are able to rebuild. Because in the end, success is not about discipline, it's about what feels normal to you. So here's the real work. Instead of forcing actions, change what feels normal. Change what feels like home. If going to the gym feels like punishment, it will always require discipline. But if you start to see movement as something integral to your identity, you'll start to crave it. If reading feels like a chore, it's going to require willpower. But if you see yourself as someone who devours knowledge, you won't need motivation. Discipline doesn't fault. Your identity does. And once you fix your identity, the actions follow automatically. So don't force change. Become the person who doesn't need forcing. The moment success feels like home, the struggle ends. Y'all, I found this passage on TikTok a few weeks ago, and it really reminded me how important mindset is when it comes to becoming the best version of yourself, building your dream life. It really all starts with mindset because that is the number one thing. You have to believe that you are this person that you're trying to achieve. Without that belief system, your actions, it's a lot harder to accomplish the actions afterwards. And that's why today on episode 2, I want us to talk about mindset and get into taking practical steps to 1, finding that mindset, finding that dream version of your life that you want, and then 2, how are we going to build tangible actions to put that into real life? So grab your journals, babes, grab some pens and pencils because we are going to get into some practical work. Now, something that I've been doing for a couple of years is I start out my new year with a vision board party, but I always do a reflecting journaling session of the year before, as well as preparing for the year ahead. And one of my favorite prompts is envisioning your dream life. So I want you guys to take a piece of paper now, get out your pen and pencil, give yourself honestly like 20 minutes to really fully free write everything out. But the full prompt is, I want you to envision your dream life and describe it in every detail. What are your day-to-day activities? How do you feel when you wake up? What do you eat? What are you wearing? Who are you talking to on the day-to-day? What really lights you up? And I want you guys to get as specific as possible. Get super specific, and also make sure you're writing everything in present tense. I'm going to read a few excerpts from mine just to give you guys some examples of what that looks like. Also noting that I like to split things up into categories, and so this example is coming from my spiritual dream life category. I feel peaceful and confident in my life because I have unwavering faith in God and His vision for me. I am aligned with His plans and feel excited to learn more and be closer to Him through His word and community. The key is to dream without limits. Let everything just pour out of you. Write it down by hand, be specific, and write it in the present moment. Okay, so pause the video now, work on your journal prompt, and then once you come back, we're going to talk about how we can take those dreams and working backwards to create tangible, actionable goals to get you up to that dream life. Okay, welcome back. I hope you guys got some really good stuff written down in there. So the first thing we did is we are figuring out what our dream life looks like. So that is our journal prompt that we now have. 2, we're now going to create tangible SMART goals. What are SMART goals? SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic and timely, or like time bound. Essentially, you want every goal that you create to one, be specific, right? We got to be specific about what we're talking about. It needs to be measurable. In order to know if we are getting to that goal, you have to have some sort of way to measure yourself to make sure that we're doing what we need to do to reach it. Attainable, essentially, it's kind of like, is this realistic? Like, if I said I want to go on the moon, is my goal to go on the moon by next year an attainable dream? No, because it takes, years to train and blah, 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 blah. So you have to make sure it's an attainable type of goal. I said attainable, I meant to say achievable, but same thing. Relevant. Is this relevant in the grand scheme of things, right? You want to make sure there's relevancy to whatever that goal is. And then the last important one to me is time bound. You want to put a time on your goal so that it's not lofty. Like when you have a goal that's very lofty and it's not specific, you don't have a time frame for it, that's where like procrastination can kind of seep in. You can kind of start to drag your feet on things, but when you have a set time frame for when you need something to be done, you can easily work your way backwards to have actionable steps to reach that goal by that specific time. And then lastly is we'll talk about setting up recurring time for you to review where you're at, maybe readjust some of your goals so that you can set yourself up for success as you move into maybe the next goal or the next month, whatever your review sessions will look like for you. So going into our session of creating SMART goals, I thought it'd be helpful to share what my dream life was for myself. These are things that I actually journaled during one of my journaling sessions, as well as how I can take those dreams and then turn them into tangible SMART goals. And hopefully this will be helpful for you so you can understand how to best translate your dreams as well into goals for yourself. I'm going to be reading them off, so like it's very specific for you. I don't want to mess anything up or leave anything out. As I've mentioned in episode 1, I like to split my goals up into different sections that make sense for my life. You can split them up for yourself, whatever makes the most sense for your life. For me, I have 5 areas: career, spiritual, physical, financial, and then I have mental and soul health. I really like that category. It's like all the yummy things that make me really happy. So starting off with spiritual, that was the example I gave earlier. So for me, I wrote down that in my dream life, I would wake up, I feel peaceful and confident in my life because I have unwavering faith in God and his vision for me. I am aligned with his plans and feel excited to learn more and be closer to him through his word and community. So reading that, right, there's no actionable or like specific steps there. So these are some of the goals that I pulled out of what my dream life would look like. I go to church 4 times a month on Sundays, but even more specifically, in order to achieve that, I'll be sure to get enough sleep on Saturday night so that I'm able to get up early and make it to church on Sundays. 2, I read a verse every day using my Bible app. To ensure I can do this, I will create daily notifications so that after completing my morning routine, it's something that'll be easy to do. So in those examples, I didn't just write what the goal was, but I added more specific information on how I'd be able to achieve those goals within my current daily routine. So right now, I don't sleep with my phone next to me because I'm trying to really get a good sleeping habit together. And so I ensure that the daily Bible app on my phone, I get notifications at around 9 a.m. because that's about the time that I'm already out of bed, right? So I'm setting myself up for success by ensuring that the goals that I have, they're achievable. They're relevant, they're time bound, right? This is more of a weekly to monthly kind of goal that I would check in for myself on. Okay, next category, kind of my big one, is career. And I wrote down, I write, record, and create content that people see all over the world. I work with like-minded travelers and creatives to help people enjoy life through travel tourism. I have an impact on the creator economy, speaking on panels around the world, while also having a direct impact with travel tourism, making it more accessible, enjoyable, and sustainable for all. I am building a legacy. I enjoy what I do, and I love it more and more every day. I feel blessed to do what I do. So this was a big chunk. Within a lot of this, these are kind of the SMART goals that I pulled out of. Read 1 article a week on the creator economy. At some point, that knowledge will build. I will feel that I have knowledge of the creator economy, and hopefully speaking engagements as they come up, I will be able to show that knowledge and positively contribute to it. Set up coffee chats with travel creators on their journey. Get to know people at least 1 time a month. Travel or collaborate with a tourism board and develop a relationship with them through conversations, communication, post-trip review, and to do this once a quarter. Set up coffee chats with tourism board individuals 1 time a month. Speak on a panel once a quarter. And to do this, I would need to research panels that are available, reach out to my network, and I have to put myself out there and chat with people on a monthly basis so that that can lead to maybe an opportunity of speaking on a panel. Then lastly, I want to host one event by the end of Q2. Moving into my physical goals, physical health goals section, I have amazing endurance, flexibility, and strength. I feel rested and clear-headed on the daily. I have private Pilates classes and get to dance whenever I want. So a SMART goal would be every Sunday, I set up my workout schedule for that following week. My workouts would include cardio twice a week, strength training twice a week, and flexibility once a week. Specifically, and I'm doing this already right now, which is really nice. So I do boxing. That's kind of my cardio and a little bit of strength combined twice a week. I do Pilates once a week, which is strength. And then I also do dance twice a week, which is a bit of cardio. My flexibility is not there yet. We'll add that in. I kind of get that in dance, but I do want to add maybe some yoga in there. But what I do every Sunday, I set out my workout routine, and that's been really, really helpful to feel really good in my physical body. For mental and soul, I live 5 minutes away from all of my best friends and family. I have weekly dinners with my loved ones. I host get-togethers, and I enjoy every bit of it. I feel immense gratitude to be surrounded by so much love. My therapist is the best, and we talk every month. I'm clear-headed, slow to anger, and quick to love. Some goals that I pulled out of this is talking to my family and my friends at least once a week. I think when we become so busy, especially I'm busy now, I don't live at home anymore, we forget that sometimes we have to set aside time to talk to our friends. And I do this with a couple of my friends. We set up time, and not once a week, that can be a lot, but at least with family, at least once a week, I'll talk to. Maybe I make sure I call my brother. I make sure I call my parents, my grandparents, extended family, etc. But making it a priority to at least speak to someone once a week, I think will be really helpful to remind myself to stay grounded and gracious for my family and friends. Second one is to set time to visit family at least once a quarter. I think that's super important. Set time to hang out with friends at least, I say once a week, but that's obviously with a caveat. I travel a lot as it sees fit. Maybe I should put bi-weekly. That feels more achievable. Setting time to hang out with friends bi-weekly, even a quick FaceTime call or some sort of coffee chat. And then lastly, schedule my therapy ahead of time for 4 times a month. Right now I see my therapist weekly. I can see that getting a little bit less as we get a handle on things. But that's been consistent. I've been consistently in therapy for 2 years now, but that's still in there just to make sure that we're still, tracking along on our goal of being mentally sound. My last big section is financials. So I own many rental properties, a travel tourism agency, and have a great team of financial advisors that I trust with my life. I have all of my bills on auto pay. My future kids and grandkids are financially set up with trust funds, and I am in such a secure place, I'm able to open up financial funding for women and families who need financial assistance. This is a really great financial dream of mine. Some of my goals, I think within financial dream life and setting up goals, there's going to be your short, medium, and your long-term goals. And those are things that I've set up with my current financial advisors. I do have financial advisors now, and I really like them. So God willing, things continue to go well with them. But we meet every quarter to reevaluate my finances, if I need to change or adjust any of my short, medium, and long-term goals. So I will continue to do that. I will sign up for a travel agent certification program by the end of Q2. And lastly, buy a rental property by 2026. This is already in the plans, but again, we're going to write them down to ensure that we are following them. Some of these goals, I would say the buy a rental property by 2026, that's not a super SMART goal. SMART as in the acronym. To get more specific, I do already have money that is being set aside every single month. I've already set up those actionable steps to ensure that I can meet that goal. But I just wanted to share that with you guys to be transparent, let you guys in on the dream life. Now, finally, now that we have written down our dream life, we have transformed the dream into tangible and SMART goals. The last thing is that you have to remember to set up time for essentially reevaluation. It could be weekly, it could be monthly. It depends. You might have to meet weekly on certain goals, maybe monthly, to holistically look at what you did for that month. But I think it's really important to set up those check-in times with yourself to ensure that you are being realistic. We are actually achieving these goals, because sometimes you set out a goal, it's smart, you set in areas to really achieve that goal, but you find out at the end of the week or the end of the month, oh, I wasn't able to achieve that. Why, right? We can point out those whys and then reevaluate how we can change the goal a little bit to make it more achievable for the next month. Right now it is mid-April. I shared my April month goals on Instagram. I also have a new channel specifically for the Dream Life Diaries where we can all kind of talk about our goals, lift each other up, talk about my wins, just behind the scenes stuff of life and going on. And kind of if I'm doing like a mid-week or mid-month evaluation, one goal that I had was to do my daily Bible study. So on the Bible study app, they have built-in Bible studies, and they really are about like 5-6 minutes. They're not too long at all. My goal is to do it every single morning. And I thought that was going to be a breeze because it's on your phone. It's quick, it's easy. I have been doing them for the most part every morning, but it keeps track of your streak. You guys, it is April, 15th? I think I have a streak of 3 because there's always the one day that I mess up one day. And I realize, okay, doing this once a day was not as attain or achievable as I thought it was, right? And so I'm going to have to reevaluate. Do I need to change the number? Is there something I need to do within my like habits and my schedule to ensure that I do it daily, right? So those are important questions to ask yourself when you go and reevaluate how you did on those goals. And we will definitely be doing that probably in episode 3 or when I do the monthly recap of my April and seeing how we're going to set ourselves up for May. So we can all do that together, review all of our goals, review kind of how we did for that month. And I also want to point out, never like speak badly on yourself when you don't achieve something. There's always a reason why we weren't able to do it. And it does not mean that something is wrong with us, that we did it wrong, that we suck. Like never have those negative attributes about yourself because again, your brain, all that your brain knows is what you tell it. Your brain doesn't know from like a biological, like molecular level. It doesn't know truth from fiction. And so don't say these negative, bad things about yourself. You will begin to subconsciously internalize it and your brain will continue to look for things to validate what it's hearing. So just a good reminder there, just talk nicely to yourself, use positive words with yourself, and it's okay to be realistic. It's okay to have to change your goals sometimes, change the goalpost. That's okay. Life is life. It is what it is. And we are all on our specific personal journeys. And our journeys are what they should be, our own. They will never, ever look like anyone else's. Not one. So how can we expect our life to look like someone else's if our life is our life and there's, you know what I mean? Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining. I would love to know what some of your goals are that you've been working for in April. If you have any like mid-month revelations that you're realizing, and I'm excited to chat a little bit more. I would love for you guys to join the channel on Instagram. You see it in my Instagram bio, so we can connect a little bit more. We can talk throughout in between these videos and just stay connected. Anyways, thanks for watching. Happy April, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.